What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode
of the
Locked It series.
Like this? Is this what we morph into? Locked It? I'm still waiting for the comments, on what as a hand gesture that we had, And then when we did unlock, right, just to give you all context, it was because I was just thinking about what is a hand gesture that can be in someone's face when watching YouTube. And it became a joke where, our friends meet me, right, they will always do the za. And I was
The boomerang.
They say, hey, please do the unlock sign, right? Okay, but glad that it worked out. All right, so today we have Jerralyn again on this episode. And you may be wondering why, right? Is it always Jerralyn? And I believe you have seen Grace, you've seen Lucas. And the reason behind that is because Jerralyn also handles a lot of the listings on the Salesforce, right? So as I've mentioned previously, the Salesforce work in a way where both Chris and I, listings or buyers, we have specific teams that sell. And Jerralyn is also one of the team leaders in the Salesforce. So she handles a lot of the listings. And, till date, we have been giving her a lot of challenging listings to sell. And she always performs lah. So
I
above
deliver.
expectations. She delivers, right? All right, so today we'll be talking about hallmark residences. I remember, this seller is a senior from SMU, amazing couple.
Super nice people.
Super nice people. We love you if you're watching this. And trust us so much, right? Wow. And very inspiring millennials themselves, right? Who is now already searching for a very big landed property in their early 30s. And we're so happy to be shopping with them. So this property is in Hallmark Residences. It's a District 10 property. Stevens Road, freehold, TOP in 2015, 75 units. Not very boutique lah, but small development lah.
Yeah.
Right? 969 square feet, 2-bedroom, 2-bath. There is this myth that cost-centric region properties are always very easy to sell.
Yeah.
It isn't. If you have heard the story of Lucas's
Freehold, CCR.
Yeah, freehold CCR.
Not too many units.
Not many transactions. In the past 5 years, there was 0 2-bedroom units that were transacted.
Yeah, 0.
And not only that, to make matters even better, it's all about perspective, right?
Yeah.
This unit is tenanted till March 2024. When did we sell this unit?
Last year, November. 2022, yeah.
So means the tenant stay about 1.5 years.
1.5 years.
Yeah. So just to give you a context of this entire meeting, this sellers met me in 2020. No, I think 2020,
Oh.
End 2020. No, mid 2020. And I went through a listing presentation with them.
Yeah.
I showed them our team's value. But they had a problem. It's not their problem. It's because their family member is a real estate agent.
Yeah.
We always face this problem, right? And it's always important to give family members a chance. But sometimes it's hard to say it's not working out. Let me pass it to another team. So I remember we followed up for 1.5 years. We love you, Mr. Seller and buyer, because it became a long-term relationship. We're like friends now, right?
Yeah.
And after 1.5 years, they contacted me again. They said, Jervis, initially they had given the family agent a 3 months try. I think now they've given him about 1 year more. And they say it's not working out, right? And I did tell them, right, you have to give your family agent a chance because District 10, 9-10 properties, 2-bedroom, with no transactions around, is not easy to sell.
Yeah.
Well, how was it for you? How long did you take to sell this unit?
We sold it within the second round of viewings.
And that was in the first month?
First month.
How?
Okay, so the entire process. Okay, so we did the listing presentation again with the owner because the price has changed from when you did the first presentation in 2020.
Yep.
So we updated them with the listing presentation, the prices, and what we do as an agent, and what we can offer. But the challenging part was arranging viewings with the tenant.
Correct. I remember the horror story that they told me. Yeah, and they said that this tenant is very tough to handle. And, actually when tenants are tough to handle, as I mentioned in previous episodes, right?
Yeah.
It's very important for an agent with empathy to be willing to go through that difficult conversation, to meet up with the tenant, to make good friends with them. And our team, including Lucas, if you have watched his video on how he sold the Orange Grove penthouse, we always have to go through that difficult conversation. It takes courage to be a real estate agent sometimes, right?
Yeah.
And tell me more. Why was the tenant tough?
I mean, aside from it being tough, knowing that the listing was already on the market
for a year plus,
there must be something wrong. That for the unit not to be sold for it to already be in the market for like 1.5 years.
Yeah.
So in my head, I was already like, I need to identify like what the real challenge is and what the main objection is for this unit.
Absolutely.
So we tried arranging a site visit with the tenant.
Yeah.
And I was able to meet with the tenant in person.
Yeah.
And that was when I was able to like build that relationship with her.
Yeah.
And I found out that she's actually really nice.
And she had meals with you and Chris already.
Yeah.
She even bought something from you guys.
Yeah.
And it's considering another purchase. And she turned out really nice.
Yeah.
So what do you do right?
I think, in the beginning, just tried to understand and be friends with her.
Yeah.
And then from there, we built some rapport during the site visit.
Yes.
And just respected the boundaries that she wanted and requested for.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had a Zoom meeting with the owner together with the tenant.
Yes.
To request for viewings and what was okay with her in terms of like the viewing schedules.
Yes.
Because initially she wanted to like move out first before we marketed the house. Because she was saying if that's going to be easier for us to sell the house, she doesn't mind like us giving her 3 months to move out and find another place.
Yes.
Before we conduct the viewings. Because her staying there, she's not comfortable with the viewings because it's going to intrude on her privacy.
Yeah.
And she's just not comfortable. So we asked her what would be comfortable for her.
Yeah.
As compared to having her move out. Because we also don't want that for her.
Absolutely. And we knew for a fact that during that time, the rental market is really hot. It wasn't a good time for her to move out.
Yeah.
And that's also the reason why we promised and we actually fought really hard to find a buyer who was eventually able to accept the tenancy and bought the unit with the tenancy. So that the tenant didn't have to move out as well.
Yeah.
Right. So I what I'm seeing now, right, on the screen is that it was sold at 2.21 million, $110,000 above valuation, sold in 2 weeks, second highest per square foot in the development, disregarding the size, where the valuation was only about 2.05 million, right? So I remember there were some conditions that the tenant mentioned to protect her privacy, right? There was no virtual tour and stuff like that.
Yeah, so initially we wanted to go all out on the marketing like how we always do, like with the home tours, with the virtual tour, the
everything, the photos, professional photographers.
Yeah. She didn't allow any of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we really just had to rely on the analysis of the unit and our information kit.
Yes.
So that every viewing experience we're able to show the highlights and the unique selling points of this unit and why this is the best in the market.
Absolutely. And one thing that I realize is that sometimes as realtors, we cannot just be very affixed towards doing home tours, right? And that's why the flexibility of a realtor is so important, right? We have to balance the rapport, we have to balance the relationship, we have to respect privacy, yet we still have to push boundaries for the owners to sell at the top price. We want to sell at top price.
Yeah.
Every listing we take up, we challenge ourselves and the owners to set a top price.
Yeah.
And some owners, they're like, are you sure you can do it? We say we will not know, but what we can promise you is that we will do our best.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't say anything. Yeah. Best.
Yeah. So, in the information kit, what was helpful was that we helped to analyze the different types of 2-bedroom layouts with new launches and how much they're selling at and surrounding resale 2 bedrooms.
Yeah.
So, that was one of the selling points of the unit. It's the layout.
And that made the viewing experience very robust because a lot of the common objections that we face on the ground is that the buyer's telling us that, okay, I need to think about it. I have to see other options.
Yeah.
But what we did in that viewing kit for Hallmark residents was we brought all the options on the table and say that this unit is the best.
Yes.
And that's also the reason why within 2 weeks and 2 rounds of viewings, actually, it's not 2 weeks, it was just 2 days actually.
Yeah.
We sold the listing. I recall that the previous photos that were taken by the previous agent was, some were in portrait mode, some quality wasn't the best. And you actually, because the tenant didn't allow professional photographers, right?
Yeah.
To protect your privacy, which I understand, right? you used your iPhone 14 Pro Max.
Yeah.
And then you took some nice photos and you even did a walkthrough video of the unit, right? So tell me the reason behind that. Why do you want to do that? Why not just use the previous photos from the agents?
I mean, the photos are like for the first impression that the buyers see when they are on Property Guru.
Yeah.
Because that was the only thing that we could do for the owners, since the others, like the virtual tours, the home tour was not allowed. So the least we could do was at least take some proper photos of the unit.
Yes.
And a walkthrough video.
Yes.
So the walkthrough video was so that we can show potential buyers how the layout looks before they come for the viewing, because it's a tenanted unit and it's not that easy arranging for viewings. So we have to properly filter out sincere and serious buyers.
That's right.
So that we don't bother the tenant too much, because you only have a 30-minute window for every viewing.
That's right. And one thing is also to respect the tenant's boundaries, to not take the trust for granted, and to ensure filtering, like what I've mentioned, so that not many viewings will happen, but the viewings that happen, they are impactful viewings that happen, right? And fun fact, Jerralyn used to be a full-time, or is it part-time?
No, it's a part-time
hobby.
Because it was during COVID.
I see.
And we were on work from home.
Yes.
So there was nothing much to do during work from home.
Was that considered moonlighting? Okay, I'm joking. No.
No.
So I'm just thinking.
My previous employer doesn't know, so I don't have to mention.
No one's gonna know about this. No worries at all. But she takes really good food photography. You are a professional food photographer.
No. I mean, like, it was just a hobby that I wanted to try it out, and I mean, COVID gave us a lot of free time. So I had a lot of free time at home. I was just doing it for fun. And
I think that the photos that you have taken, you even went back to edit it.
Yeah.
And it made it look like a professional photo, right?
Yeah.
Amazing job on that. So I want to know a little bit more, right? What are some of the key objections of the buyers for this unit? How many viewings do you do in total?
I think we did 2 rounds, and each round we had about 4 buyers came.
So 8 viewings. And what were the objections?
Okay, the main objection was the water leakage in the bedroom and the living room. Yeah, so we already knew that during the site visit.
Yeah.
So before conducting all these viewings, before we actually conduct viewings, we try to identify the potential objections that we are going to face with all these buyers.
And that allows us to design the buyer's journey, right?
Yeah.
Especially during the viewing process, the home tours, or even down to the ads that we run, right? We want to make sure that we can handle those objections. So I mean, we saw that there was a water leakage in the living and the master bedroom, but we couldn't fix it right away because, I mean, we need to respect the tenant's request of, not going to the unit as often and only going every bi-weekly. Yeah.
So what I did was to actually take some photos, send it to the contractor and get a quote.
Yeah.
Because usually buyers, when they see this, they will use this as a reason
to negotiate the price down.
Yes, as a reason to negotiate the price a lot lower than what the asking price was.
Actually, the fixing cost is not expensive.
Yeah, actually the fixing cost was only about like 5K.
Yeah.
So that was the reason how we actually were able to close it at a record price despite having that underlying issue.
And what I'm hearing is that a strong team needs to know how to defend the price of the unit.
Yeah.
And, sometimes if there are clear objections that you know that there's more cost-efficient ways to settle, you handle it with a clear proposal, with actual quotation, and that allows the buyer to see that actually it's not that expensive after all.
Yeah.
Right? So I recall 2 things that we did really right. Okay, the first thing was also the reason why the seller decided to give us the listing.
Yeah.
And that was because we promised the seller that we will work closely with the family member and we are always okay with a 50-50 co-broke, right? I think the market now, some co-brokes can go down to 0.25%, which doesn't allow agents to push the buyers to buy at a good price.
Yeah.
And one thing that we believe in is if we represent a seller, we will do whatever it takes to incentivize the other side to offer the best price possible, right?
Yes.
So I think that was one thing that we did right. Secondly, previously when the agent was handling the tenant, this particular tenant wasn't really happy with the viewings and didn't even allow some viewings, right?
Yeah.
So what was that proposal that you had that allowed the tenant to say, I see your sincerity, why not?
Yeah, I mean, we had a discussion with the owner and the tenant, and I did up like this tenant proposal on the different types of compensation that we can give to her if the unit gets sold, so that we can also incentivize her. But she told us that it's not, money is not the issue, and it's just about her having her own free time on the weekends, because she would always be working in the office on Mondays to Fridays, and weekend is only me time.
Yeah.
So we wanted to respect that, and we just asked her what her request was. If let's say we we still want to continue marketing the unit for the next 3 months.
Yeah.
Because one option was, what's her request if we want to market the unit for the next 3 months, and if it doesn't get sold for the next 3 months, then we'll stop marketing and wait for her to maybe move out in March 2024 before we continue marketing again. Yeah. So whatever her request was, we respected it, and we promised her whatever her request is, we'll meet. We'll meet. Yeah.
And I think that was I remember the proposal that we had. It was like we were raking our brains and we're thinking, wow, what is the way to incentivize this tenant to say yes, right? Yeah. And I think the tenant saw the sincerity. Yeah. And that was also the reason why I think as a real estate agent or broker, it is so important for you to be able to have leadership capabilities and courage to manage so many different parties. Mm-hmm. Whether it's the owner, the tenant, or your own emotions, right? And it's crazy sometimes, right? And I think that once you're able to show sincerity in a particular deal, you win everybody's hearts, right? And that's the reason why we always say this tagline JNA is serve with a heart and be authentic, empathize, right? Yeah. Don't think like a robot, right? So great job on that. I wanted to ask you this, and I think this is the key question for any agents who's watching this, selling some CCR properties and they're thinking how we're going to sell it, or owners giving up, at the verge of giving up, right? Fun fact, 80% of the owners that find us, they were at the verge of giving up already, right? Up. We hope that we have more owners who decide to choose us as their first choice, so that it's not always, when push comes to shove, then they choose us. But there were no 2-bedrooms that were sold in the past 5 years in the enclave. In the development as well, right? The owners even thought about not selling it anymore. So how? What do you think was maybe just one thing that you did right in selling this listing?
Definitely the pricing it right, because 2-bedroom buyers, they are more price sensitive compared to 3-bedroom and 4-bedroom buyers, especially in the CCR market. So first would be the price, and second is the layout. Yeah. Because a lot of the newer 2-bedroom layouts are really small. Yeah. And they don't have proper storage space where, a family can actually live in. Yeah. So this 2-bedroom, it's not too big, it's not too small, it's perfect. It's still a perfect size if a family of 3 wants to live in the house. I see 969 square feet. I think it's very comfortable. Yeah, it's the size of a 3-bedroom these days. Yeah. So that was how I actually positioned the unit. Yeah. And actually the buyer that came, they were still comparing with another development right beside, which was Robin Residences. Robin Residences, so the Robin Residences was right beside, and they wanted to compare, and they were saying, oh, it's a newer development, it's near to the MRT. So how I actually countered that objection was with the layout of the unit, because that layout was only about 700 square feet and it's asking about the same price. Yeah. So I was using that and the pricing to justify why this unit was better than the other. Yeah.
So for all those viewers who do not know, and this is part of the JNA Real Estate Operations, we are very particular about the operations. Every single listing goes through similar operations, right? And one key part of it is not just to analyze the intra-development, we analyze inter-development units to compare. And because with that analysis, we're able to share with sellers how to properly price a unit as well. Yeah. And fun fact, it is because of our sellers' trust that price the unit accurately, and that's the reason why they can consistently sell above valuation, right? Amazing job on that, Jerralyn. Yeah. So any last words for any of our viewers?
No, that's it.
That's it? Yeah. I hope that you've enjoyed this series of the Locked In series. I think today's episode is about a CCR unit that is 2-bedroom that, it was 1.5 years in the market. We took it up in 2 weeks, and just hope that we can share with you some strategies. Whether you are an owner looking to sell your home and thinking about, is there a strategy that we can actually change, right? Or you're an agent, holding onto a listing, your exclusivity is ending and thinking, what more can I do? Let me share with you one thing. There are more things that you can do for every listing to challenge at a top price, right? In one of the episodes with Grace, we're going to share with you how within 2 minutes, we actually increased the price by $30,000. And this $30,000 was so important and integral for our sellers, right? So thank you so much for watching this Locked In series. This is Jervis.
This is Jerralyn.
We hope to see you for the next one. Bye-bye.